This is crazy because I don't know how they're doing this. I'm literally hearing things in the rear. Neumann just released software called RIME, made specifically for their NDH20 and NDH30 headphones, and it does something kind of crazy. It makes mixing on headphones feel like you're sitting in a calibrated speaker setup. Not just in stereo, RIME recreates a surround or spatial monitoring environment, and somehow it actually works. And imagine having that mixing environment without actually having to buy all those speakers and set them up. We're getting closer and closer to that dream. Now, when I've tried mixing in spatial previously with other headphones, I couldn't really hear the difference, and I always thought maybe my brain is just tricking me into hearing sounds from the rear. Not so with the RIME software. I don't know how they're doing it, but I can really hear things accurately in different spaces. The rear sounds are coming from the rear. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how it works, how it's different from other solutions, and why this might be the first time I'd trust headphones for critical spatial mixing. So, what exactly is RIME? It stands for Reference Immersive Monitoring Environment. It's a new plugin from Neumann that simulates a precise speaker setup right in your headphones. But here's the key thing. It only works with Neumann's NDH20 and NDH30 headphones. And that's actually why it works so well. This isn't some generic virtualizer. RIME is calibrated specifically for the acoustic profile of these headphones. So it takes the 7.1.4 surround sound format, and that's what's used in professional immersive audio setups, and renders it on your headphones with spatial cues, reflections, and depth that actually sounds believable. It sounds like the real thing. And yes, it works in stereo too. Even if you're not mixing in surround, RIME can make your stereo mixes feel more grounded, more in the room. And this is not a gimmick. This actually sounds right. Now, Neumann sent me the RIME software and they're sponsoring this video. So today I'm just going to show you around the plugin and let you know exactly what it's doing and maybe what I'm hearing. So let me show you around the plugin. RIME runs as a VST or AU plugin, and you insert it after everything on the master channel, right at the end of your mix. That way it doesn't affect your processing, it just changes how you hear it in your headphones. Now, first things first, you choose your headphones. So I've got the Neumann NDH30 plugged in, or if you have the 20, you can choose that. Then you can choose your speaker layout on the left side here. I'm choosing 7.1.4 for immersive. If you're mixing in stereo, you can just select stereo up here. Below that, you've got the output levels as you're listening. Over here, you've got an ambiance control. It lets you adjust the listening environment, basically how reflective or dry the space sounds. It's not a noticeable difference, I think, because the room they're simulating is so controlled, but it's here if you want to adjust it a bit. You can also adjust the output here, and there's also a low and high shelf if you need it. All right, now right in the center is where you have full control of all your output channels. So if you want to mute or solo something, you can do it right here. So now I'm just hearing the rear right surround speaker, or I can add both the rears. This is crazy because I don't know how they're doing this. I'm literally hearing things in the rear, and I've never been able to place things so accurately before. This actually works really well. You can also mute channels, or you can do it over here too. Very cool, and it is truly amazing what they're doing with this. Honestly, I'll tell you something that if you do have the NDH30s, I think these work even better because these are open back. So they're already creating a bigger soundstage right off the bat. And then you're adding the RIME software and it's giving you even more. Now, here's something kind of cool. You can personalize RIME to your head. If you go into settings right here, you can actually adjust your head circumference and the distance from ear to ear, which is really cool, especially for somebody with a big head like mine. Also, if you're using a head tracker, RIME supports that as well too. It'll follow your head as you're moving and kind of simulates where the speakers are based on how your head is turning. I think it's kind of cool. It adds a little bit to the realism, but I don't particularly love head tracking when I'm listening to music. But anyway, to each their own. All right, so what's it like to work with RIME and the Neumann headphones? Well, first up, it doesn't sound like a fake simulation. I'm sorry, but like I said before, sometimes I couldn't even tell if I'm really hearing a difference or if it was just my brain playing tricks on me. Now, the difference is subtle with RIME, but I think that's also what makes it more convincing. And what surprised me the most is that I stopped thinking about the fact that I was wearing headphones. The center image felt really solid, the sides felt natural, and reverb tails actually had a sense of space. Not that usual smeared headphone effect. Now, even in stereo mode, things felt more grounded. I could tell how wide elements were sitting, and it helped me make mixing decisions faster. Now, I still check on speakers, of course, but I think RIME has made headphone sessions feel more confident. This would be great like late at night if I'm mixing or working in the studio, or maybe when I'm traveling. All right, so who's this actually for? If you already own the NDH20 headphones or the NDH30s, this is kind of a no-brainer. You're kind of unlocking a whole new monitoring environment from the headphones you already know and have spent time learning. If you mix in immersive formats, or even just want to check spatial placement more accurately, this is one of the best tools I found for doing that on headphones. It's also great if you work in a small or untreated room where speaker placement isn't easy. RIME kind of gives you a sense of space that your room might not be giving you as much. I'd say this is for any producer who wants more confidence in mixing on headphones, especially if you don't have access to a calibrated speaker room setup. Now, can this replace a proper speaker setup? Not entirely. There's still something about feeling the low end in a room or catching subtle phase issues that's just easier on speakers. But RIME gets you surprisingly close. Close enough that I'd really recommend this for detailed spatial work, checking balances, and even doing full mixes when you can't use monitors. I think we're getting closer to the ideal headphone mixing environment. It doesn't replace speakers, but it definitely reduces how much we'll need to depend on them. So RIME is available as a plugin for Mac or Windows. Again, it's only compatible with the Neumann headphones. So if you're using some other headphones, this won't work. It's not meant for that. The plugin does cost $99, but there's a free trial available so you can test it out and hear the difference for yourself before you commit to buying it. And again, it works for both immersive and stereo. So that's RIME. It's not a flashy plugin effect or something. It's a focus tool for making headphone mixing feel more like mixing in a real space. And when it's tailored to specific headphones like the NDH20 and NDH30, the results are actually usable, not just interesting. If you already own these headphones, check out the free trial below the video. Also, I love these headphones. I've recommended them in multiple videos, so if you want to check out any of these headphones, I'll put links to them below as well. Give this a try. It might change how you think about your mixing environment, especially if you're working with immersive formats. And if you're in the process of upgrading your home studio, don't forget to grab my free guide, 20 Studio Upgrade Hacks. It's packed with ideas to help you get better sound and a better workflow without spending more money in your studio. I'll link it below. Keep making the music you love, and I'll see you soon.